According to a leaked conversation that we do not have on record, according to the narrative, Donald Trump was in possession of nuclear weapons classified information. Now, I said on day one, the only reason why a corrupt capitalist would steal classified information is to sell it. I said that right here on Indisputable. That's the only reason why, okay? Now, he had an opportunity to just give it back a few months ago when he stole the 15 boxes of stuff out of the White House. So he's a thief. He's a corrupt capitalist who ended up stumbling into the White House. Well, he stumbled out as well, being the same person he was when he stumbled in, corrupt. All right, now, let me first do this. The Lincoln Project, which by the way, hella creative people over there. They did this commercial, it really got under the skin of Donald Trump. Here it is.
Who was it, Donald? Who gave you up to the feds?
Who squealed?
Who told them what you kept in a safe at Mar-A-Lago? No, not that stuff.
Disgusting.
The classified documents. 15 boxes of top secret files.
That's naughty, Donald.
And illegal.
You broke the law.
No wonder the Department of Justice and the FBI came knocking.
They're coming for you.
But who leaked? Who sold you out? Was it Jared?
Ungrateful.
Ivanka?
They're backing away from you.
Don Jr.?
Your own son.
Eric?
Do you even care?
Melania?
She wants to escape.
Mark Meadows?
Who did it?
All your old Washington friends are talking to the 1-6 committee and the grand jury.
They weren't your friends.
Maybe it was someone closer.
Who could it be?
Someone you trusted.
Betrayed you.
Now you're the first president to have his home raided by the FBI.
This is your legacy.
It's bad, Donald.
Your father would be ashamed.
And there's no one you can trust.
No one.
No one at all.
There never was.
Woo! Why won't Democrats do ish like that? That's coming from a Republican outfit.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right, I got more. Classified documents relating to nuclear weapons are among the items the FBI agents sought in a search of former President Donald Trump's Florida residence on Monday, according to people familiar with the investigation. So they spoke under anonymity. They did not want to be revealed. The information did come out. Experts in classified information said the unusual search underscores deep concerns among government officials about the types of information they thought could be located at Trump's house and potentially in danger of falling into the wrong hands. Now, let me be very clear. This information doesn't fall into the wrong hands. It is transacted into the wrong hands. That's how this works. So this is not about, oh goodness, where did I lay that classified nuclear weapons document? No, this was intentional. There's more. The people who described some of the material that agents were seeking spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss the ongoing investigation. They did not offer additional details about what type of information the agents were seeking, including whether it involved weapons belonging to the United States or perhaps some other nation. Nor did they say if such documents were recovered as part of the search. A Trump spokesman did not respond to a request for comment. The Justice Department and the FBI also declined to comment. So let me go to the national affairs analyst on MSNBC, who actually alluded to this previous. Yes, one giant concern, he said, is whether foreign adversaries could find their way possessing them, talking about classified documents referencing nuclear weapons. Another is the possibility, and God perish the thought. But Donald Trump might have thought, when I leave the White House, I'll take everything of value, of potential monetary value that's not nailed down. That's what the analyst said. And the analyst may be correct. Former President Donald Trump called late Thursday for the immediate, right now, release of the federal warrant the FBI used to search his Florida estate, hours after the Justice Department had asked the court to unseal the warrant, with Attorney General Merrick Garland citing the substantial public interest in this matter. He's playing games all the way through. Now, the DOJ, at least it doesn't seem as if they are reacting to Donald Trump. It seems more like Trump is reacting to the DOJ. That's somewhat of a transition because usually everybody around Trump is reacting to him. It seems now they have anticipated his moves. Here's what Trump put on Truth Social. He said, not only will I not oppose the release of documents related to the un-American, unwarranted, and unnecessary raid and break-in of my home in Palm Beach, Florida, Mar-A-Lago. I am going a step further by encouraging the immediate release of those documents, even though they have been drawn up by the radical left Democrats and possible future political opponents who have a strong and powerful vested interest in attacking me, much as they have done for the last 6 years. So what is Donald Trump doing here? It's called binary marketing. He wants you to believe that this is all about ones and zeros. And if somehow he can convince you that the messenger is corrupt, then thus the message must be corrupt as well. So instead of attacking the information, instead of attacking the reality of the allegation that he was in possession of highly classified information, he thus attacks the messenger, the agents, the warrant, maybe the judge, the prosecutor, Joe Biden. He even rambled about Hillary Clinton and President Barack Obama. That's what he did. There's more. The public's clear and powerful interest, this is a response from the DOJ, clear and powerful interest in understanding what occurred under these circumstances weighs heavily in favor of unsealing. Boom, let's get it. They are unsealing the documents. I need the judge to do the right thing here. Now, understand this, the reason why the DOJ is saying there's this public interest is powerful because that's your legal case to unseal documents that are typically sealed during this part of the investigation. There is precedent of federal judges actually unsealing the investigative document that led to the raid when there is compelling public interest to do so. So in the wording of the DOJ is using the right wording in order to align with the precedent previously established by federal courts when it comes to unsealing a warrant at the early stages of an investigation. Said a motion filed in federal court in Florida on Thursday. Should the warrant be released, the request is now with the judge. It could disclose unflattering information about the former president and about FBI scrutiny of his handling of sensitive government documents right as he prepares for another run for the White House. During his successful 2016 campaign, he pointed frequently to an FBI investigation into his Democratic opponent, Hillary Clinton, over whether she mishandled classified information. I mean, you gotta look at some irony here, right? Mm-hmm. So the raid took place, Rick, August 8th. Historical note, that was the same date that Richard Nixon announced his resignation from being president and agreeing to never run for office again, okay? You have this other connection to Trump running in 2016, but starting from 2014, he was saying that Hillary Clinton needed to be arrested for mishandling emails that were classified. And then his cronies started the lock her up chant. And he said that when he became president, that he would have her arrested. That never happened. So Rick, what are your thoughts here?
Lot. The first is to go back to the Hillary Clinton thing. Wasn't it Trump who concocted a law that said if you do this very offense, you're gonna serve roughly 5 years in prison? So his own law is what might be held up against him, which is like beyond juicy. The second is he put Chris Wray in charge of the FBI, a Trump appointee, and he handed down this search warrant. The third is this use of the word raid is incorrect. They searched it. They presented the evidence of what they thought needed to be seized to a judge in West Palm Beach who signed off on it. Trump also calling this a hoax. His use of the word hoax is beyond stupid. Like he called climate change a Chinese hoax. We're dealing with the effects of climate change. He called the impeachment a hoax. It was no hoax. He called the Mueller investigation a hoax. It was no hoax. He called the coronavirus a hoax. Oh, what are we at? Like 6 or 7 million people have died now. I believe over 6 million people worldwide have died because of COVID. So his use of the word hoax really doesn't help him if anyone were to look into the history. Very quickly, just a few other points. The first is I'm in the process of reading this book called Commander-in-Chief, which was written by Rick Riley. Many people will know him as a sports journalist. Basically, Trump showing off whatever he took from the White House to whoever he pleases. Could be a butler, could be a state representative, what have you, could be a donor. Him showing off these things is such a Trump thing to do. Like he will inflate the truth, he will deceive whoever he needs to. There's a story that Rick Riley wrote about how there was someone from the Golf Channel who was following Trump around when they did a documentary, or rather a series on him. And he's like, hey, this is my friend Richard, he's with 60 Minutes. And the guy's like, why are you saying 60 Minutes? I'm just a producer. And he's like, sounds better. Like he will do anything at any cost, at any time to make himself look better. My last point is this whole live golf thing, which I have covered extensively, really seemed off to me from the start, because we knew that he was carrying the Saudis' water along with Vladimir Putin and Russia's water during his time in the White House. What did live golf do to repay those debts? Well, they gave Donald Trump, who had the PGA Championship pulled from Bedminster, they gave him 2 opportunities to recoup those funds while also giving him funding of his own, giving Jared Kushner over $2 billion, giving Steve Mnuchin over $1 billion, much of it coming from the Middle East, specifically Saudi Arabia. And there were reports at the time that some of this was because they wanted to become a nuclear superpower. You could go back to 2019 when General Michael Flynn also was accused, at least via NBC News, of giving Saudi Arabia secrets to the states' nuclear power. Right. There's a lot of things that go into this, and this is just the culmination as I view it.
Yeah, we're at the tip here of the iceberg. And Republicans are already being warned, stop defending Trump because what's coming next cannot be defended. All right,